Good morning, students. In the last session, we discussed the story Chief Seattle's speech. We saw in the first paragraph, Chief Seattle is assuring the great chief at Washington that he could rely on his words, whatever the condition is. He expresses his gratitude for having extended the friendship and goodwill gesture. He is also happy at the proposal that is kept by the chief at Washington, saying that actually they are not in need of such an extensive country, since the number of red men has reduced into a few, and then the number of the white people are great. He is ready to give the land as per expected by the chief at Washington. But we saw at the end that he is ready to give provided they listen to a few conditions that he is going to put forward. So let us see in the next paragraph now. We have the next paragraph here. There was a time when our people covered the land as the waves of a wind-ruffled sea cover its shell-paved floor, but that time long since passed away with the greatness of tribes that are now but a mournful memory. I will not dwell on, nor mourn over, our untimely decay, nor reproach my pale face, brothers, with hastening it, as we too may have been somewhat to blame. So here he is telling, there was a time when our people, here he means by our people the tribal people, the red man, covered the land as the waves of a wind-ruffled sea cover its shell-paved floor. So what he is comparing here, the waves that has brought so much of sea shells onto the floor and left it on the floor. But so the number of red men were uncountable. There were many in number earlier. That is what he meant by the land as the waves of a wind-ruffled sea cover its shell-paved floor. So when it used to be covered by the shells after a wave, but that time has since passed away with the greatness of tribes that are now but a mournful memory. So what he is saying, that time has passed. That time when there were so many red men lived on this earth, that time is gone. And the greatness of tribe that are now but a mourning memory, the greatness of the tribe, the number of the tribe that used to be dwelling on this earth has all become a mournful memory. That is what he says. So he says, now he is not dwelling on all those things. I will not dwell on nor mourn over. I will not dwell on means he is not going to think about all those things. What things? The number of the people that lived on the earth. People means the red men. Nor mourn over. Neither am I going to cry, grieve over that. Our untimely decay. Untimely decay means before time, perishing before time. Nor reproach my pale face brothers. Reproach means blame or criticize. Reproach means nor blame my pale face brothers. What is meaning pale face brothers? The poor, the distressed, disappointed brothers, with hastening it by reminding them of all these things that has happened, as we too may have been somewhat to blame. So he feels we are also to be blamed for the present condition of the red man, his tribe people. So in this paragraph he says that there was a time when his tribe also had so many people, just as white people are in great number now. And then he says that time has passed away, and he is not interested to think or remember or cry over the untimely death of his people, nor he is going to criticize or blame the people who are now living, because he says they are also responsible for the present condition of his country. Now let us see the next paragraph, that we have youth is impulsive. Now what he is trying to say? He is trying to say the present condition of his people. There are a few, but in that few, what the condition is. That is what he is going to. Youth is impulsive. The young people are all very impulsive. They are very active. They are full of life. When our young men grow angry at some real or imaginary wrong and disfigure their faces with black paint, it denotes that their hearts are black. So he is telling, when our young men are angry and wants to take revenge. That is what he is telling. Wants some real or imaginary wrong. What does that mean? Real or imaginary wrong? Something that in reality happened, or something imaginary thing, or disfigure their face. Disfigure their face here means when they are angry, when they are red with their anger, with black paint. Black people, when they are still angry, they become more darker. It denotes that their hearts are black. That shows that how angry, how much darkness they experience in their life, and that they are often cruel and relentless. So when these youth are angry and they are irritated with some imaginary or real mistakes, they are often cruel and relentless. They don't think of anything. They become very cruel, and they are uncontrollable. And our old men and old women are unable to restrain them. Restrain them means stop them. So when the youth are angry, the older generation, the old men and women are not able to control them. That is what he say. At present, when the youth of the tribal people are very angry, not even their parents, not even their elders in the family are able to control them. Thus it was ever been. It has been the condition from the beginning. Thus it was when the white man began to push our forefathers. Why it so happened? It happened that when the white man started pushing them towards westward, that means one or the other reason, either fighting or encroaching, they used to push the red Indians towards the westwards. From then onwards, the youth of the red men have been angry. But let us hope that the hostilities between us may never return. So that is this hostilities, this angry, this strong angry opposition which has been remaining in the relationship between the black and the white may not continue. He is telling, may this hostilities means this angry opposition may not remain. So he is telling, but let us hope that the hostilities between us may never return. Between us means between the red and the white people. We would have everything to lose and nothing to gain. Here we means the red people. They will have nothing to gain but everything to lose. Revenge by young men is considered gain, even at the cost of their own lives. They feel, who the young men feel, that even if they lose their life, it is gain. But old men who stay home in times of war and mothers who have sons to lose know better. That means the people who are sitting at home know when their young ones loses their life what it is meant by. So the youth or the young men are impulsive. They are strong. They are very courageous. They are full of life, and they find it easy to take revenge or fight with the others. But the older men and older women know how difficult it is when their young ones lose their life. So in this paragraph we see that the writer wants to say how the hostilities between the red men and the white people remained as a result of the white men pushing them towards the westward, and then the red men trying to shrink themselves to a little place. So this has been a cause for the hostilities that existed between the red men and the white men. Now the chief at Washington has written a note of friendship. So here Chief Seattle is reminding them all in his speech. The next paragraph. A good father in Washington, for I presume he is now our father as well as yours, since King George has moved his boundaries further north. Our great and good father, I say, sends us word that if we do as he desires, he will protect us. So, what he is saying here, our good father in Washington, for I presume he is now our father as well as yours, since King George. So that is the king who has extended friendship, and the note of welcome is being extended to him. So he says, our father as well as yours. What does that mean? He says that King George is your father as well as our father, the head of the white and the black. So he says that he has moved his boundaries further north. Our great and good father, I say, sends us word that we do as he desires, he will protect us. So King George has said to Chief Seattle that if he allows them to take the boundaries further north, that means get geographical land towards north, that means some of the tribal land to the white people, then what will he do? He will protect us. Here means George will give, the King George will give complete protection to the red people. So here in the first one he is narrating, first time he is narrating what the desire of King George is. The big chief at Washington has asked Chief Seattle to grant the geographical land northward, and the tribal people could push themselves forward, and the land could be given to the white people. In return, he promises all kinds of protection for the red people. His brave warriors will be to us a bristling wall of strength. What does it he says by that? He is telling his warriors here means the warriors of the white people will be to us a bristling wall of strength. That means they will be a protecting strength for them too. And his wonderful ship of war will fill our harbors, so that our ancient enemies far to the northward, the Hydas and Smithsonians, may not, will cease to frighten our women, children, and old men. So already the tribal people are attacked by the two other tribals, that is Hydas and Tishmishians. So here already these two tribes, Hydas and Tishmishians, has been frightening the women and the children of the red people, and here the chief at Washington promises that his warriors and the ships will harbor at his place, so that the enemies of the red Indians will be attacked by the warriors of the white people. Then in reality he will be our father and we his children. So he says in that case, in reality he will be our father. The chief at Washington, King George will be our father as well as your father. But can that ever be? So he is asking a question. Can that ever be? Can King George be the father of both the group? He is doubting at his own expectation. Your God is not our God. Why he is thinking whether King George can be their father also? Because he says, your God is not our God. Your God loves your people and hates mine. So the God of the white people loves the people, his people, and hates the red man. He folds his strong protecting arms lovingly about the pale face and leads him by the hand as a father leads an infant son. So they have the experience of God of the white people, folds his strong protecting arms lovingly about the pale face. That means the God of the white take care of the pale face, the weak, the depressed, and leads him by the hand as a father leads his infant son. So he has the experience that God of the white people are concerned about his people, but he has forsaken his red children if they really are his. So he's telling, but he has no experience that God of white people taking care of the red man. So he says he has never taken care of our God, the great spirit. So look at the God of the tribal people are the great spirit seem also to have forsaken us. So it is not only the God of white people who have forsaken or forgotten the tribal people, even their own God, the great spirit, also seems to be caring, not worried about the tribal people. Your God makes your people wax stronger every day. So that telling your people, your God makes your people wax stronger every day. That's what he is saying. So he feels that the people, the God of white men, are making them stronger daily. Soon they will fill all the land. Soon they will fill all the land means the white people will be spread all over the land. Our people are ebbing away, like ebbing away means finishing off. It's a diminishing, like a rapidly receding tide that will never return. Rapidly receding tide means the tide that is moving away, the tide waves that come up onto the shore and then going back. So receding, the moving away, that will never return. So the slow waves that moves back will never return. That's the belief of the people. So he's telling the number of the tribal people are receding just like a wave that recedes and will never come back. But the number of Christians or the white men are increasing. The white man's God cannot love our people, or he would protect them. Look at here, the white man's God cannot love our people, or he would protect them. So he says here, the white man's God will not take care of our people, but he will protect his own people. That means the white man's God will protect them and he will not protect the red man. They seem to be orphans who can look nowhere for help. They here means the red man. They are like orphans. There is nobody to look after them. How then can we be brothers? We means the red man and the white man. So here he had already raised a question in the beginning, saying that how can that be? But can that ever happen? What was that question? Can the father of white man be the father of red man as well? So he is telling that is not possible, because the God of white man and the God of red man are different and they cannot be brothers. How can your God become our God and renew our prosperity and awaken in us dreams of returning greatness? So he's telling, how can we think or we dream of a prosperous country when your God become our God? Is that possible? If we have a common heavenly Father, he must be partial. So he says, if there is a God common to both of us, both white and the red man, then he should be partial. For he came to his pale faced children. Here, pale faced children means the weak, the distressed, the red man. We never saw him. So he's telling, we have never seen your God. He gave you laws, but had no word for his red children, whose teeming multitude once filled this vast continent as stars fill the firmament. So here he is telling, he gave you laws. That means the white man's God gave them the law, but had no word for his red children. But he did not give anything to his red children, whose teeming multitude, the people or the number of people, multitude here means people, once filled this vast continent as stars fill the firmament. Just like stars are seen in the sky, just like that, just like stars are filled in the sky, just like that, there were people living on this continent. Who? The red man. No, we are two distinct races. Here we mean the white man and the red man are two distinct races. What does meaning distinct races? Separate, different, separate origins. Why we are separate, distinct origins? With separate origins, we are two different kind of people with two different kinds of origin and separate destinies. Our destiny also is separate. We have a different destiny. The end, there is little common between us. There is a in common, very little in common us. That means between the red and the white people there is very little in common. So here we saw the chief saying to chief at Washington that he remembers the time when there were hostilities between the white and the red people. He remembers how the youth are angry and they become very cruel and relentless, and the older generation, the old men and women are not able to control them. And there has been reason for this hostilities because the red people had been pushed for westward by the white, and they were using their land. So this was the reason, cause for their hostilities. He is saying that the young people don't feel anything even if they lose their life, but the older generation know how it is, or what the result of losing the young men. The number of the red people are decreasing day by day. So here he says, then in the next paragraph he is telling how the chief at Washington, that means King George, has expressed his desire to have the geographical land towards the northward, and then he is promising that he will protect them from the two local tribals that are already disturbing their women and children and old men. So he will protect the red men from every kind of problems. Then he speaks about the similarity between the red and the white, and he says there is very little similarities between them, because their God and the white people's God and the God of the red are different. Their God has laws for them, but he does not think of the red man. He also says not only their God has forgotten us, he says our own God, the great spirit whom we consider as a God, also has forgotten us. And he says, how can there be similarities? We are like orphans, and then the white people are increasing day by day. So he says, if there is a God for both of us, then he should be partial, he should be taking care of us also. Then he says that there is no number of people now. Once there was a time when his own tribal people were great in number and filled the earth just like the stars in the sky. So we shall come with the next lesson in the next session. Till then, stay home, stay safe. Thank you.